Welcome to Pimpy's Investment Chat, where we keep investment talk simple. And here's your host, Pimpy.
What is going on out there, peeps? All right. So after the past week, we've seen a lot of things happening fairly quick over there in Iraq. And I've had a lot of listeners now say, hey, Pimpy, man, seriously, your honest feeling. Well, what do you mean my honest feeling? I'll let you guys know all the time in my video. Look, you guys want to know if I'm excited about what's going on? Of course I am. Is it good news? Of course it is. But what do I always say? Stay grounded. Because when it comes to Iraq, man, they have a habit of doing a lot of great things and doing something that screws it up. But this time around, I'm more optimistic than I am pessimistic. It really looks like they're covering a lot of ground really quick. I'd love to see them get them sanctions removed. I would love to see the authorization for military use reversed. I would love to see them expedited and put into the World Trade Organization. I would love to see this development road get built pretty quick. I'd love to see the railway get built really quick. I would love to see them finish the port of Fall real quick. These things all contribute to a booming economy for the Iraqi people. But we're not there yet. It's not going to happen overnight. The reversing of the authorization for military use could be done by next week. But we're talking about the Biden administration. This is different. So it's questionable. But I don't want to be Debbie Downer on this. They could turn around and reverse it. If that's the case, hopefully they reverse the sanctions. This would be great news. And there's reason to believe that the sanctions are being reversed. Ms. Rosenberg was here to monitor what was going on at the Central Bank of Iraq to make sure that their system had the ability to connect with the international financial system. And that's what they're there for, to oversee that project. And so far, it looks like things are going in a good direction. There are other reasons to believe that they're going down the right path and that things are going to happen for Iraq that are very positive. So let's go over these articles, shall we? Before we get started, do me a favor and hit the thumbs up button. And if you're not a subscriber, please do so, because when you do, it helps out the channel, and I certainly do appreciate it. You can follow me over on other platforms. I do have my own group over on Facebook called Pimpy's Investment Chat. Over here, we do talk about gold, silver, cryptocurrencies, as well as foreign currency investments. So head on over here and join us. It's free to do so. In here, I do post updates. If I should get on suspension from YouTube or get removed from YouTube and you want to know what happened to me, I'll let you know right here in this group. I can be found on Twitter, MeWe, YouTube, and the cool thing about YouTube, if you come over here and you join and you find my channel, I got videos going back, I believe, a couple years. So if you want to see some older videos that I have on Nasera, Jacera, gold, silver, cryptos, come on over here and join. Look me up and check out my videos. You can also find me on Odyssey. Catch me on Rumble. When I say that the links for all these are down below in the description, some of you don't know what I'm talking about. It's real simple. Just go down to the bottom right here of any of my videos. See this? This is the description. Hit show more. And there are all the links to all the platforms I just spoke about. Also, a quick reminder, next week is coming up real quick. From September 29th through October the 1st, we will have the Silver Symposium at Caesar's Palace in Las Vegas. You're going to have a lot of experts in the industry of precious metals and a lot from the industry of cryptocurrencies. So come on out there. This will be your time to learn some new stuff and ask questions. Get up close and personal with your favorite YouTubers. Take pictures. Who knows? Get autographs. Whatever it is you want to do. You see me running around, come up and say hi. I'm real approachable. So come on out. It is Vegas we're talking about now. So come on out to Vegas, Caesar's Palace, September 29th through October the 1st, the Silver Symposium. Follow the link down below and use promo code Pimpy, and you will get 10% off your admission. They will be handing away free goodies while you're there, so don't miss out at this opportunity. All right, the Central Bank of Iraq deposits 250 billion dinars in the bank account of the Kurdistan region. 250 billion. This is what I was talking about. Don't get excited about anything that they talk about or agree upon until the money is actually in their bank account. Notice that's only 250 billion. Remember, I do believe they agreed on 750 billion. It's a loan. But if you multiply this times 3, that'll get you where I'm talking about, 750 billion dinars. So the Ministry of Finance and Economy of the Kurdistan region announced on Sunday that the Central Bank of Iraq had deposited 250 billion dinars in the bank accounts of the Kurdistan region. The ministry statement said to the news the central bank deposited an amount of 250 billion dinars in the bank account, and this would give them their opportunity to start paying the salaries of employees in the region. Thank goodness, they haven't been paid in 3 months. Al-Alaq announces the inventory of internal commercial transactions in Iraqi Dinar for 2024. So the governor of the Central Bank of Iraq, Al-Alaq, announced on Sunday that the bank will continue to dispense with foreign transfers next year and the approval of banks in Iraq in correspondence banks in external transfers. Al-Alaq said, according to a statement from his office, that the news has received remittance through correspondence banks amounts to 60% of its total remittance outside the electronic platform of the central bank, while the implementation rate of verified remittance reaches more than 95%, explaining that this came after an agreement between the Central Bank of Iraq and the U.S. Federal Bank. Like the countries of the world where central banks do not practice executive business and their role is concentrated in supervision and control. So as is stated in here, the central bank job is to really watch over the other banks that are there. That's why you're seeing more transfers happen with banks outside of the Iraqi central bank. But they have obviously put the clamp down on all the BS that's been going on with banks, and they're monitoring them very closely, especially if they want to make it with the World Trade Organization, especially if they want to have their sanctions removed. Despite the abundance of cash reserves, why doesn't the Iraqi government pay its internal debts? Yeah, this is a biggie for me. This is what I'm talking about. Iraq does a lot of good things, but there's always something to the side that most people aren't paying attention to that they're doing that's bad. Why aren't they paying their internal debts? Iraq has huge cash reserves of oil revenues exceeding $113 billion at a time when it is suffering from internal debt estimated at $70 trillion, which raises many questions about the reasons for the government's failure to pay these debts, get rid of the burdens of interest on it, and invest money to provide new resources. Last July, the deputy governor of the Central Bank of Iraq announced an increase in foreign exchange reserves to $113 billion, benefiting from the improvement of the oil prices, which constitutes 96% of total national product, which confirming the increase in the volume of internal debt to 70 trillion Iraqi dinars, which is about 47 billion US dollars. So why don't they just pay it off is what they should do. For his part, the governor of the Central Bank of Iraq, Al-Alaq, revealed last August that the government has the amount of 46 trillion Iraqi dinars that's in debt, which equals to 34.6 billion US dollars. As oil reserves rise and fall according to the market prices, current government spending includes 47.6 billion annually in salaries for about 12 million employees, while defense, security, and services spending consume about 60 billion out of total revenue of 120 billion annually. So that looks like they have a surplus here. They should pay their debt. He says right here that he believes that the government's relucting not to pay the internal debt as a result of its many obligations to investment and service projects within the government curriculum, especially since the size of the planned deficit and the government budget for the year 2023 amounted to 64 trillion dinars. And this also prevents the government from paying the internal debt, which warns of financial and economic problems facing the current government in the near future. They need to do something to start bringing that down. And there's no sense in cutting off your nose to spike your face. What good is it to start all these new projects, get all this new form of revenue, but have so much internal debt that the government just collapses and your economy just collapses? The U.S. Embassy concerns the news, the results of the Baghdad and Washington talks on the dollar and currency smuggling, which is one of the biggest issues that Iraq has. The U.S. Embassy in Iraq revealed on Sunday the details of the talks of the government of al-Sadini and the central bank with senior officials of the U.S. Treasury Department in Baghdad and New York related to foreign transfers of dollars and efforts to prevent the smuggling of currency and its arrival in the hands of the corrupt figures. It says the U.S. and Iraq have a strong business partnership, and the relationship between the Treasury Department and Iraq is important. For many years, the two sides have worked to improve transparency in financial transactions, prevent criminal and corrupt actors from accessing the international banking system and smuggling their illegal funds, and make Iraqi banks compliant with international standards. Iraq has made significant progress since then in effectively implementing due diligence requirements. One positive example is the work done in relation to international remittance requests. The Central Bank of Iraq ensures the banks act transparently and in accordance with international practices, which is exactly what you want them to do. We need them to get back in there and start working with the international financial system. Said these joint efforts have provided new opportunities and a path towards increasing communications between Iraqi banks and the international financial system and protecting the resources of the Iraqi people. So this is what I was talking about. Look, right now they're sanctioned on this. But this is what they're working on to make sure that there's transparency and that they're linked to the international financial system who can monitor everything that Iraq is doing. This is why Miss Rosenberg is there. She's the Undersecretary of the U.S. Treasury for financing for terrorism and financial crimes. She's there to oversee this system and to make sure that it's doing what it's supposed to do so that they can cut back on these types of things like money laundering and financing of terrorism. Once all the ducks are in a row, they will lift these sanctions and Iraq will be free to do business again. Can Iraq finally become a global petrochemical powerhouse? With its vast oil and gas resources, there is no fundamental reason why Iraq cannot become a world-class producer of high-value petrochemical. In the process, it would benefit enormously from huge revenues from these value-added products and from putting a large part of the gas it currently flares to good use. So yeah, basically a lot of just natural gas Iraq burns up. It's just wasted. And this is their opportunity to capture it and turn it into real revenue. Earlier I was telling you guys that Iraq is on path to do some great things, but it's just not going to happen overnight. This is one of those things. They want to be a world leader in gas exports as well as oil. They're very capable of doing it. This is going to be great for the Iraqi people. This is going to be great for their economy. But this is something that's not going to happen overnight. There have been plans to do just this in place for several years, most particularly in the shape of Nebra's petrochemical project. According to the comments from the Iraqi oil ministry, talks took place last week to ratify a final concept. See, they're planning on things. They need to be implemented for this long delayed plan and affirm the need for speeding up plans to execute this project. So yes, Iraq is on the verge of a lot of great things. They just need to be implemented. Central Bank of Iraq approves new system for external transfers. Next year, we'll see the limit of internal and other commercial transactions to the Iraqi dinar instead of the dollar, except for the ones delivered to travelers, after an agreement between the Central Bank of Iraq and the U.S. Federal Bank. So now they're turning more and more to the Iraqi dinar for use than the U.S. dollar, which is exactly what you want. This will definitely strengthen the Iraqi dinar, and as it becomes stronger, the value in the exchange between the U.S. dollar and the Iraqi dinar will strengthen. They will have more value. We will see an increase in the exchange for the Iraqi dinar. Anyways, that's it for now. You guys let me know what you think. I look forward to hearing from you, and I'm out.